lighting isn't something you kind of just come onto set on the day and sort of make up as you go.
No, it has to be studied.
I think it looks deceptively simple.
You have to say, where is the light coming from? The light over here is chiaroscuro. This particular triangle here, it's called the Rembrandt look.
We're going to look at an advert for Novi chocolate.
And it's important that whatever we do have a very good client communication.
The breaking of the chocolate to get like the dust to show where you need to position the lights.
Exactly. Yeah.
10
We had
bars.
too many chocolates, I think, on that particular shoot.
Yeah. Hi, welcome to VSQUARED Behind the Lens. I'm Bruce, I'm the Creative Director at VSQUARED.
And I'm Justin, I'm the Director of Photography on the various projects we produce here at VSQUARED.
And today we're going to be talking about light and how we use light to create a mood in the videos and commercials that we make.
Yes, it's our first episode and it's something that we wanted as a company to showcase our work and obviously to explain a bit the behind the scenes and the techniques we use during these various projects.
We've picked out kind of a variety of videos from our past and we've picked them in order to show you the different kind of emotions and the different kind of feelings that you can achieve with good lighting. Basically, we did a series of commercials for Vacancy Center and each one of them presented a sort of depressing job, and we wanted to create these kind of really depressing worlds where these people are stuck in dead-end jobs. The first commercial, we call it the Sticky Notes commercial because it's someone in quite a surreal situation.
Exactly.
They're basically in this kind of walled cell. So what can you tell us, Justin, about how did you...
No, definitely, as you can see, lighting played a very important part into this commercial. At first, I was lighting from different angles, you know, something like this, you know, and then we decided to pretty much scrap this idea and we focused the light on this area. Over here, I only had a top light, which was highlighting the talent from the back, obviously. And then when we decided to shoot, then the further on her close-up, then we had to change the lighting.
You know, it's kind of like the end of a tunnel, or kind of like the end of an alleyway, and so it really gives this feeling of like she's stuck in like a dead-end job, you know, she's literally in a dead end. What kind of light are you using here to create this kind of fluorescent?
It was literally an LED panel.
There's another shot in this actually, which is a bit of a special effect.
This shot, as you can see at the moment, if I had to draw a line, this was the end of this particular cubicle. But then, obviously, in After Effects, we decided to stretch out and enhance this area to create more of a claustrophobic feel, no?
We're going to take a look at another one of the vacancy ads. And it's also a depressing office, but I think the feel is more like being stuck late night at the office.
Which I think these days it happens a lot, maybe before COVID-19, but this is totally like a lot of coffee at night on your own, working on a project, which most probably the deadline was first thing in the morning.
Exactly.
A director of photography should always try and present a scene as natural as possible when it comes to lighting. So you have to understand, you have to say, where is the light coming from? You know, is it coming from a window? Is it coming from a fluorescent light on top of us? Is it coming from a desk lamp? So that's very important to have, and you have to understand it. And once you understand that, it's pretty much looking for the right kind of light and turning it on the particular angle. This is coming from this practical we have over here. What we did as well, what I had to add, is that the background had to give more of a bluish kind of tone.
A sort of moonlight kind of feel.
Exactly.
I think it really creates a sort of sense of like loneliness. Or the fact that he's kind of been left alone, you know, everyone's gone home, everything is switched off around him, and his little desk lamp is the only light on in that office. Obviously, in these two adverts, we're using very moody lighting to create a very kind of brooding, like depressing feel. But of course you can use light to create a very upbeat feel, a very cheerful feel.
Exactly.
And probably the most upbeat commercial we've done is
lately,
Eureka.
Yes, Eureka. Eureka was quite a success when it comes to story. I mean, just to give you a quick synopsis about the project. client wanted to introduce this particular rice, which is called Eureka, and they wanted to emphasize on the title, the word, the brand, and they wanted people to remember the name.
So let's take a look at it.
So this is Eureka.
Take a pause at the woman in the kitchen. Okay.
It's this one now?
Yeah, stop over here.
Exactly. So, yeah, we were lucky that one of our colleagues had a brand new kitchen. They just bought an apartment, and when we went there, we said, this is the look we wanted.
That's a very kind of tasteful wall, you know, and
very, very. And in fact, even we wanted something bright, something colorful, because even the products that we had from Eureka are orange, nice blues.
I think it looks deceptively simple.
Yes.
But I think there's quite a lot of thought in just this shot.
Luckily, it was quite a bright kitchen, so these white cabinets and also the white wall on the back bounces off the light, so it creates that mood that we wanted. But we wanted to give this wall something special. My idea was to create a light that is coming from a window. First of all, I placed a particular strong light, which in our terms we call it an HMI, in the actual entrance of the apartment. Hey, you remember? So we had an HMI coming in from the side like this, from here, to create a soft light, which you usually get from a window. And then we needed something extra. Usually in kitchens we have blinds. So we said, why not create this interesting feature on the back that showcase these blinds coming in from the window. And we it's literally another light, that's focused light with some, you know, like strips of black metal to create this particular shade.
It's something that we use quite a lot in order to create a bit of interest.
It's true.
On a blank space.
Yes, especially when you have a blank wall, and we have a lot here in Malta. We tend to have big white walls. It's too plain, you know, and on camera doesn't, you know, reflect well.
I think what's interesting is how you can use sort of different moods of light to tell a story. For instance, we did a video for Novartis, which was about COPD, and it tells the story of a grandfather and his granddaughter, and it begins in sort of happier times when the grandfather is healthy. But the thing is, he's also a smoker, and so we jump forward in the future and see that smoking has caused him to develop COPD, which is a lung disease.
Exactly. In fact, what you're watching right now, this is a nice area we found in Ta'ali, and as we were lucky enough to have a great day during winter.
Yeah, this is all sunlight we're using.
Yes, we're most of the time we're using sunlight. So there's a lens flare coming, so the sun is coming from this side and it's hitting them on the back here, you know.
So it's all about finding the best time of the day, the best area that gives you that light, and also positioning the actors in a way that really makes them look, you know, almost like
you have to study. You have to study at what angle you would want to capture the best mood. And I think this really showcases a nice picnic here in Malta like during winter time.
In fact, we had the phrase, I don't know if you remember this, when we'd have a really good, like, sunny day, we'd say this is a Novartis day.
Yes, in fact, that's how we used to call it. Because at first, when we were shooting this commercial, we had to postpone it once, and then we managed to find another day for all the actors. And when we arrived there, it was still looking cloudy, and suddenly, as soon as we wanted to roll, the sun came out and we were ecstatic and we were very happy to capture this particular scene.
So in fact, we actually showed the transition between the past and the present.
Exactly, over here.
In one moment where we're kind of intercutting between the two.
Yeah, in fact, this is when he lit up his cigarette.
Yes.
It sort of shows the spark of why he started getting the first feeling of COPD, you know?
Yeah,
and then we transitioned to a more of a moody feel. which was in a nice townhouse in Sliema, although it was a fantastic location. This time we had to show it a bit more raw, and in fact, the way to showcase this particular mood, you have to put a lot of side lighting. In fact, as you can see, the light over here is very chiaroscuro. No, we had to, it's pretty much half his face is lit over here.
Quite unflattering, you know, exactly. It makes him look more sick.
More old, sick.
Yeah.
And that's thanks to lighting.
We're desaturating, you know,
the look. And the scene obviously continues with this particular mood. In fact, this is one of my favorite shots over here. We're showing, filming behind the iron rods.
That's something that, you know, you really taught me as I've worked through VSQUARED, how effective having things in the very foreground, just as a blurry shape.
First of all, it gives more of a cinematic look, but second of all, it gives that depth. You want to create layers.
So where was the light over here?
Light was coming from the side, almost from the back side of him. It's called the Rembrandt, this particular triangle here. It's called the Rembrandt look, because Rembrandt used to use a lot of this kind of lighting.
So what type of lights are you using over here?
Again, most of the time we were using HMIs, and these were slightly not as soft as Eureka. You know, I wasn't putting a lot of gels, diffusion in front of it. It was more of a harsher light, and it creates more of a sharp edge. This commercial. There's a climax where we see this unfortunate
soul.
Soul that he is in a very bad state because of COPD.
Now we're going to look at a commercial that doesn't involve any people or any story. It's a food commercial, but nevertheless, light is still super important to create the mood that we're going for.
Exactly.
We're going to look at an advert for Novi chocolate.
Again, food is very particular to light.
Yes.
And
lighting
you're nitpicking. You start nitpicking on every single thing. Like, for example,
you try and make the light perfect.
Perfect.
Shot,
yes.
You know?
Yes. In fact, if I had to scroll through this commercial just to achieve this shot, you know, it took us a whole, I think, an hour just to light it up.
I think it's kind of deceptively easy because, you know, when I'm storyboarding a commercial, I'll just draw this kind of shot with the swells. But then you get on set and you realize, you know, the chocolate, like most chocolate, when you melt it, little bubbles appear.
Yes, as soon as you start mixing it or whisking it, you start getting these air pockets, air bubbles. And on this particular shot, we had to replace the chocolate, have it ready, and it was a one-take wonder pretty much. It's the first couple of whisks.
Because the bubbles make it look kind of unflattering.
Exactly.
So you're trying to get it again and again, you know, and then it's like when you get a shot which has like just one or two bubbles at the most, and it's
you have to stop and you have to redo it.
The breaking of the chocolate to get like the dust to show where you need to position the lights.
Exactly.
You know, with that in mind, kind of thing.
Yes, in fact, to achieve these small particles, the light needed to be precise, and obviously the hands needed to be precise. So it's not just a technique of how to set up the light. We had to hold Bruce's hands just to remain in that particular angle.
It's so close up. And this chocolate is hard. So when you break it, your hands go up, or you know. And so it's hard to get that break right in the center of the frame where you need it. So I think we broke like 10 bars.
We had too many chocolates, I think, on that particular shoot.
Yeah. Something that we did was we wanted a dark background, but we didn't want it to be purely black.
No.
So we kind of cast a bit of a light.
Exactly. There's always a bit of this gold light in the background over here. And it gives, again, that sophisticated look. And obviously having these nice highlights on top of the food gives the food a three-dimensionality which you can't achieve just by placing a product. And the most important thing is when you're working with food, ideally you have these particles which I always try and emphasize on.
Because lighting is a storytelling tool, you know, and although what Justin does can be very technical, you know, he also is trying to convey emotions and telling a story with light.
That's pretty much it.
Yeah. I hope we'll be back and we'll be talking about different, you know, aspects of filmmaking that go on in our commercials. But for now, I think thanks for watching.
Yeah.
And
see you next time.
See you next time.